Hello, Panther Nation. Again, this is Andrew Aversa, the 7th and 8th grade assistant principal, here to welcome you to Town Hall Part 2. I hope you are all very excited, as well as I am, for these upcoming months, where we will be able to do some great concurrent learning with our hybrid students, as well as with our still 100% virtual students. I look forward to continue to work with each and every one of you. Good luck, and I will see you soon.
Hello, Gayle. This is Mark McElwee, assistant principal at Gayle. I'm going to go over some of the different things that are going to be occurring in this town hall video. Hopefully, can give you a little bit of a guide. So, there'll be a number of videos. One of the first video you're going to see is a safety first video from the county about cleaning and disinfecting. This video is going to provide in-depth cleaning and disinfecting procedures as well as cleaning schedule information for the 2020-2021 school year. Gayle will be utilizing the same mitigation strategies that are talked about in the video. The next video is a welcome to school video that was also made by the county. This video is going to provide in-depth cleaning and disinfecting procedures as well as cleaning schedule information for the 2020-2021 school year. You're going to see principal staff from other buildings, but Gayle is using the same mitigation strategies as in the video. You also see Mrs. Werner throughout the video as well. The next video after that is at the bus stop. This video is going to detail the procedures for getting on and off the school bus, as well as the bus cleaning procedures. The video that's following after that is the SCPS Fine and Performing Arts second semester mitigation strategies and instruction procedures. This is going to go over how SCPS will conduct fine and performing arts in the second semester of the 2020-2021 school year. The number of slides I'll have in the end is, if you've been following our social media pages, we've been doing some FAQs every day. This is going to be, some of those are still going to be there, so you see dates that are older, which is fine. And it's just going to go over different logistics for middle schools, along with some of the things that are going to go on with lunch, walking about the building at Gayle, along with some pictures of arrows that we have. We have directional arrows. We have tape that's in the middle of the floor too. There'll also be you'll see some different signage, what hand sanitizer we're using, and what we're using to clean desks with. If there are any future questions or any other things you can't think of, because this is not going to be all-encompassing, of course, but please feel free to reach out to myself, Mrs. Werner, or Mr. Aversa at a moment's notice. I hope you guys have a great day, and we can't wait to see everyone. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Today, we're talking about how we continuously disinfect our schools and classrooms each day. Continuously throughout the day, teachers and custodial staff will be disinfecting and wiping down high-touch surfaces, such as doorknobs, railings, and those built into our elevators. Restrooms will be cleaned, disinfected, and restocked 3 times every day. This is to ensure that our bathrooms stay sanitized. Classrooms will be supplied with disinfectants and paper towels, so self-cleaning can occur consistently throughout the day. Another outstanding thing is electrostatic disinfectant will be provided twice per week. All touchable surfaces are treated. The reason why this is so important is because the mist allows you to wrap disinfectant around every surface to ensure that every surface is truly sanitized. Stafford County Public Schools Maintenance Department ensures that we have a stockpile of EPA-approved chemicals for cleaning and disinfectant in every facility. This ensures it's readily available for use. Hand sanitizer will be in every classroom, and touchless sanitizers will be in key locations throughout each school building, and students and staff and visitors will be strongly encouraged to sanitize continuously.
Hello, I'm Rob Adams, Director of Operations and Maintenance. In addition to our professional custodial team and enhanced cleaning processes, Stafford County Public Schools Operations and Maintenance employs qualified HVAC technicians. Our team follows a preventative maintenance schedule built around design and manufacturer recommendations. This process helps ensure that the HVAC systems are working properly and improves the lifespan of the equipment. Enhancements to the preventative maintenance schedule have been incorporated, such as more frequent filter changes. Here at Central Maintenance, we have a building automation center established to monitor the HVAC systems. Our building automation manager and building automation technician have extended the operating times of our ventilation systems. This will assist with providing additional fresh air in occupied spaces. Stafford County Public Schools also contracted with a professional engineer to assist with additional enhancements. All of this will help improve the operations of our systems and improve indoor air quality.
So thank you very much for joining us today. When we're talking about school safety and return to school protocols, one thing that all the buildings have been working on, and this is an example of a high school building, students, staff, as well as families who are coming into the building can expect to see additional signage reminding folks about how to stop the spread of germs, the importance of wearing a mask.
As guests arrive to the school building, they'll be asked a series of health screener questions from our main office staff. When guests arrive, we would ask that guests please come to the door with a mask on. If guests do not have a mask, we of course have some provided here at the door for them. We also will ask guests to use hand sanitizer before they come into the building. The main office staff will ask a series of questions. If the guest passes the screener questions, then the main office staff will come outside and take the temperature of the visitor to ensure that they're fever-free to enter the building.
Once you're in our office, you will find that we have added some extra protection. We have sneeze guards put in place for our office staff to stay behind when interacting with you. You'll also notice now that you insert your ID into our system for it to be checked. If you forgot your cloth face covering, we will provide them. We also have other items in our office ready to go to keep everybody safe. Each day when students arrive to the school building, they need to have on a face covering. If they forgot one, we will provide one here at school. They also will have their temperature checked each day.
If it is determined when you arrive at school that you're running a fever, the nurse will escort you here to this room. She will conduct an evaluation and then stay with you until your parents arrive to pick you up. In this room, the desks are separated by 6 feet, and we also have an area for students to wash their hands and a private restroom.
Our high school teams are also busy kind of rethinking classrooms and ensuring that there is proper social distancing between students. So in a non-traditional space, such as the one we're in now, or even in a traditional classroom, teams of teachers, administrators, and staff have been working to remove extra furniture and separate desks to ensure that students would be 6 feet or more apart. That is key to helping limit the transmission of COVID-19.
We were determined to remove 50% of the furniture from the classrooms in order to mitigate risk and reduce the amount of touchable surface areas. You can see that we're using our forum here as our storage. The removal of 50% of the furniture from the classrooms has resulted in this. This classroom is set for 14 students. Each one of the desks is 6 feet away from the other.
Welcome to an example of an elementary school classroom. We have put social distancing measures in place for all of our students and staff. You will see different scenarios of desks and tables when you enter elementary school classrooms. Let me explain our double desk scenario. In this situation, the student who is assigned to this desk and chair would be the student coming to school on our A day, which is Tuesday, Wednesdays. The student who is assigned to this spot right next to them would be a B student who is coming to school on Thursdays and Fridays. The reason we're pairing desks are many, but one main reason is to give students a little extra space to hang their coat or book bag on the spot right next to them. Every night at the end of the school day, all of our surfaces will be sanitized. But on Wednesday nights and Friday nights, between our A and B shifts, all of our buildings will be electrostatic clean to provide an extra layer of protection between the 2 shifts of students. Another example of an elementary school classroom setup might be a table with a desk at the end. In this scenario, this side and that side are provided to an A student and a B student. So student A on this side and student A on this side for Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and student B on Thursday, Friday, and student B on Thursday and Friday. This allows us to provide many different options for our students and our staff to provide their best instructional strategies while also maintaining social distancing.
In our band, chorus, and orchestra classrooms, we have added additional precautions to assist with mitigating risk to students and staff. In this classroom, which is a chorus classroom, instead of being the standard 6 feet apart, you'll notice that the desks and chairs are 10 feet apart. We also will ask chorus students to wear a face shield so that they can ensure the safety of staff and students while they're singing in the chorus room.
Also, we find it very important to do our best to eliminate and certainly limit the amount of sharing back and forth of various items, whether that's as simple as a pen or a pencil, or in some of our career and technical education courses, or even in some of our STAT program courses where students have to share equipment back and forth, putting in standard operating procedures and protocols to ensure that that equipment is wiped down and cleaned with a disinfectant so that it is sanitized before it is moved to the next student. So these products here that you see on my left, which are Oxivir disinfectant, hand sanitizers, wipes, spray bottles, you will find those throughout the building that our teachers and students can use to ensure that their work and study stations stay clean.
In our elementary schools in Stafford County, we're providing visuals for our students, staff, and visitors to help maintain social distancing in our common spaces. Schools have put decals down on the floor to allow for hallway traffic to move in one direction while maintaining 6 feet between our students.
As much as possible, schools will be working to do one-way traffic, and that's in the hallways where it is feasible. Of course, that is not always going to happen, and it's not always each hallway is not always able to have one-way traffic. So in those instances, students would be directed to have two-way traffic, and the hallways would be clearly marked to show which side of the hallway students should be walking on.
In elementary schools, our common spaces will be used limited. We will use them for arrival, dismissal, bathroom breaks, and potentially recess and other activities that need to occur during the day. The rest of the time, the students will be in our socially distanced classrooms.
The restrooms are an area where we're taking extra precaution. Custodial staff will be cleaning restrooms 3 times per day. We'll also have school staff monitoring restrooms to ensure that students aren't gathering in these areas. We've also displayed signs for students to encourage them to use good practice when washing hands.
On days that our students are here at school, they will have the option to get breakfast or lunch from our school cafeteria. Our breakfast line will be socially distanced, and students will be able to grab their option and take it back to their classrooms to eat it. For their lunch choice, they will make that once they get to their classroom, and their lunch will be delivered to them by a staff member so they can have lunch with their classmates while social distancing in their classroom.
Because we don't want students gathering in large groups in the cafeteria, students will be eating their lunch in their classrooms. In the morning, when students arrive for homeroom, they'll be asked to indicate if they have packed or if they're purchasing lunch in a Google form. Then cafeteria staff will prepare lunches and deliver them to students' third block classes. Students will be eating in their third block class.
Another area that our staff remains focused on ensuring that there is sufficient safety and social distancing is in the cafeterias. So unlike in past years, the cafeteria will not be a spot, obviously, for large gatherings. So we will work with our cafeteria staff as well as our teachers when it comes to serving breakfast and lunch. And other times, we would bring students down in smaller groups, so to speak, in waves of probably 100, maybe to 150 students. And we would utilize visual aids such as floor markers, arrows, and potentially brick wraps to ensure that students know how to enter the cafeteria, how far to stay distant in line, and then of course follow directions of our amazing cafeteria workers. And that way we will be able to ensure that all of our students are remaining safe when it comes to the food service time at school.
While our students in elementary school won't have the opportunity to go to our library, we are going to make sure they have the opportunity to check out library books. The first few weeks of school will provide us the opportunity to teach our students how to use our system Destiny to learn how to hold books and find ways to teach them how to express their interest so we can help them find books that they might be interested in. When our students check out the books, we will have a process in place that anytime the book is touched, it will be quarantined for 24 to 72 hours to help prevent the spread of germs. Our librarians and classroom teachers will work directly with our students to ensure we find them a good fit book of interest.
In the high school setting, we're also going to be judicious about ensuring students aren't gathering in areas where any type of bacteria or virus could be transmitted, and one of those areas is a common area water fountain. So we would be working with our maintenance groups to shut these fountains off, and then we would work collaboratively with our teachers and our other staff members to ensure we could deliver bottled water efficiently and have it available for students when needed.
Hello, my name is Barry Suddeth and I'm the Transportation Director for Stafford County Public Schools. I'm here today to share some of the new procedures we will be using as we return to school and to school transportation. The first thing I'd like to discuss with you is the personal protective equipment that our school bus drivers will be wearing. The driver will have a face shield that they'll use at each stop. Now, due to safety considerations and fogging and that type of thing, they won't be able to wear that safety shield when they are driving. But each driver will also have a face mask on during the ride. The next thing is the seating configuration. Each seat will have a student in it, but the students will alternate, as you'll see with the configuration of the cones that we have set up. This will promote social distancing as much as possible on the school bus. Now, if there are siblings, they may sit together on the bus since they live in the same household.
Do you have a mask?
No, I forgot it. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to give you one for today. Please make sure you bring one in the future.
Thank you.
The next piece that we would like to share is the loading and unloading process of the bus. Students will board the bus from the back to the front. They will enter through the front door and go to the back seat, which will be marked with a check mark showing where they should be sitting. And the next student will come onto the bus and go to the opposite side where the check mark is located. As students exit the bus, whether at school or at home, they will exit from the front to the back. This will decrease the amount of contact that they have with each other while on the bus. Another feature that will be used on the buses that is recommended by the Virginia Department of Health and the CDC is to maintain open roof hatches and the windows at the first level. This keeps fresh air flowing throughout the bus. In inclement weather conditions, rain, these windows do not leak at that first level, but the roof hatches will be closed. But this is to maintain fresh airflow even with the air conditioning on in the bus or the heat. The last thing that I would like to demonstrate is how each bus will be disinfected after each run and how it will be deep cleaned during the week. At the end of each run, the driver will quickly disinfect the high-touch areas on the bus using a sprayer that will be provided for each bus. Notice the driver pays particular attention to one of the most high-touched areas on the bus, the handrails at the entrance, as students use that to enter and exit the bus. The sprayer will be stored underneath in a compartment that all the buses have, and that way it will not be a safety issue during travel. After disinfecting the bus, the driver notates that it has been done. This way we can keep records to assure that all the safety protocols are in place. At least once a week, Fleet Services will do an electrostatic disinfection of the buses. Two of the Fleet service trucks have been set up with inverters that we can go out to the parking locations and do this deep cleaning and deep disinfection of each bus. These are two critical items that must be done. The high touch areas, especially on the school bus, need to be disinfected and cleaned so that it is safe for all of our students to ride in the school buses.
Hello, my name is Anna Marie Bellino, and I oversee the Fine and Performing Arts programs for Stafford County Public Schools. I am pleased to share information regarding the safety protocols and mitigation strategies that our Fine and Performing Arts classrooms will have in place when our secondary hybrid students return in February. We know how much our students have missed the robust arts education during this pandemic. We have also missed creating masterpieces, performing art, and making music together. As our art students return to school, several protocols and procedures will be in place to mitigate the spread of the virus so we may perform and learn as safely as possible. A list of the guidance documents used in creating our protocols and procedures will be available on the SCPS website. All Fine and Performing Arts students will maintain a physical distance of at least 6 feet and will wear masks, even when they are playing a wind instrument. Band and chorus students will actually be placed 10 feet apart. When possible, theater students may also be placed more than 6 feet apart, perhaps 8 to 10 feet. All students in our performing arts classrooms will face the same direction as much as possible. Instrumental music students will not be sharing instruments. Students with larger instruments will be provided an at-home instrument as well as one at school. Students in our classes will not be sharing items such as music, scripts, pencils, valve oil, wigs, props, and art supplies. Art students will bring their SCPS provided supply kits to school to use. If students need to use an art supply that is not provided in their kits, these items will be disinfected at the end of each class use and will be stored in containers for at least 24 to 48 hours prior to the next usage. Shared surfaces such as chairs, tables, and music stands will be sprayed and wiped down after every class period. Further details will be forthcoming from your student's school. SCPS will provide a triple-layer bell cover with a MERV 13 filter for our wind instruments. Wind students should have a separate mask for band class that has a slit in the middle of the mouthpiece. Brass players will use absorbent pads to empty their water keys that will be disposed of after each class period. Band and chorus rehearsals will be limited to 30 minutes. Then the room will be cleared for at least one HVAC air exchange before the next rehearsal. Therefore, your hybrid chorus or band student may shift to a different location during the class period. But don't worry, the teacher will still be in the Google Meet during this transition, so there will not be a disruption to the students accessing virtually. Routines and procedures will continue to be very important. When students enter the classroom, specific protocols to include hand washing or hand sanitizer will be followed. Teachers and schools will create pathways for students to flow through the space while maintaining physical distancing. We will limit and monitor the number of students to enter instrument storage areas, and some schools may even opt for at-school instruments to be housed within the band room. Just as we modified our virtual instruction, we will continue to adapt during the concurrent teaching model. Music students in the classroom will perform in real time with their teacher and will be heard through the computer speakers by the virtual students. The students at home will be able to play along with those in the classroom. However, because of the internet lag time at home, the students may be hearing at different times than their virtual peers, which is why students will have to stay on mute if they are at home. When working on scenes in drama classrooms, teachers will facilitate this work with both hybrid and virtual students. When virtual students are asked to perform a passage, they can unmute and will be able to be heard by both their virtual and at-school peers via the technology set up in the classroom. Our teachers will continue to engage the whole class in discussion, individual performance, giving and receiving feedback, and more. The guidance documents used to develop these mitigation protocols are available on the SCPS website. Any specific questions regarding your school's plan can be addressed by your student's teacher. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing our hybrid students in our schools soon.
This is the bell schedule for the 2020-2021 second semester. Monday is going to be an asynchronous day for students. Group A and B students will be asynchronous. As you can see, for Tuesday, Wednesday, it's Group A. Thursday and Friday is Group B. On Tuesday, it'll be an X day, and on Wednesday, it'll be a Y day. On Thursday, it'll be an X day, and on Friday, it'll be a Y day. The big difference, if you look at the schedule, is that in Block 1, Block 2, Block 3, and Block 4, on Tuesday and Wednesday, Group A will be in school and Group B will be virtual. That's the same thing for every single one of those blocks. Also note that from 10:45 to 11 in the mornings, students will arrive, then they'll go straight to class.
During Block 2, there will be first lunch, second lunch, and third lunch at 12:15, 12:45, and 1:15 respectively. Teachers will tell students when they have that lunch time for Block 2. Also, there will be Block 3, which will be 60 minutes, just like the other blocks, and Block 4. At the very end of the day, students will be dismissed at 4 o'clock, and it'll be from between 4 and 4:15.
Should students bring their Chromebook, and what happens if they forget it? Yes, students should bring their charged Chromebooks on a daily basis. If a student forgets their device, the student will be given a Chromebook when they get to school to borrow for the day. How will students charge their Chromebooks? It will be the expectation that students charge their Chromebooks each night. However, each teacher will be given a few extra chargers to have on hand. All classroom spaces have outlets. Will all students log into Canvas and follow along with the Google Meet as they do now? Canvas is a learning platform that all students will use. However, students sitting in the classroom will not need to log into a Google Meet. Will students be on the computer for every class? Students may or may not be on a computer during all parts of instruction. That is entirely dependent on the objective of the lesson and corresponding activities. Will all assignments be completed and turned in on the computer/Canvas? Teachers will be encouraged to have students turn in assignments electronically rather than use paper. If a teacher has a health waiver, I recognize that is a privacy issue and families will not know ahead of time which teachers will be teaching face-to-face. If a teacher will not be teaching from the building, will another staff member be stationed in the classroom with the students while the teacher teaches remotely? Yes, students will be supervised by a staff member if their teacher is only providing instruction virtually. Question 2, loss of instructional time. Class times have already been cut short this year from previous years, and now with Monday being asynchronous for students, it seems that cleaning and transitioning will cut further into instructional time. Are there plans to maximize instructional time? Yes. All classes will remain 60 minutes in length. Cleaning will take place during the 5-minute transition time between classes. How will cleaning take place? Who will be cleaning seats and desks? Each school will work with staff to develop the cleaning protocol in general. However, teachers will apply the cleaning solution to chairs, desks, and other surfaces, and students will wipe down these surfaces upon entering and leaving the classroom. Since the solution takes only 60 seconds on contact to be effective, this process should not take long, as there will be hand towels and additional trash cans for students to use. Additionally, students will use hand sanitizer after they have wiped down the surfaces. Again, the cleaner is sprayed on the desk and must be wiped off after 60 seconds. This will occur before and after class. Each class will be cleaned each evening by our cleaning crews. Can students use the drinking fountains? No, students will be encouraged to bring a water bottle to school. We will have extra water bottles on hand. What are the plans for students to transition from one class to another? How will distancing in the hall be maintained? Will all classes switch at the same time? At the end of each instructional period, students will transition to the next class following the social distancing guidelines and hallway directional signs to limit student traffic. Will students use lockers? Will students move to different classrooms throughout the day? No, students will not be using lockers outside of their classrooms or in gym. Yes, students will be switching classrooms throughout the day, and there will be a 5-minute transition between each period. When, where will students eat lunch? In their second block class. Meals will be delivered to classrooms by nutrition staff. Will students be eating in the cafeteria, classrooms, gym? Will students be able to socialize while they eat? Students may be eating in the cafeteria, gym, or classrooms. They will be assigned to a seat and will be required to wear their mask anytime they are not eating. Socialization will be permitted as long as health mitigation strategies are followed. Specific protocols may vary upon depending on individual schools, amenities, and space availability. Will students be able to socialize during the school day, for example, before or after school or during transitions? Students will report directly to their first block classes each day. While they are waiting for other students to arrive, they will likely have time to socialize. Students will not linger in the hallways during class changes, so socializing during transitions will be limited. Students must wear masks at all times. Will all students be required to turn their cameras on during second semester? Students will be encouraged but not required to turn on their cameras. How will a new OWL camera be used? The OWL follows the classroom teacher generally but can be directed to follow different segments of the classroom. The focus of the OWL is entirely within the teacher's control. Are all classes going to be concurrently taught? Yes, the majority of our courses will be taught concurrently. However, depending on staffing, a class may be 100% virtual or in person. Will students carry their backpack, personal belongings with them at all times? And the answer is yes. Students will not be permitted to leave their belongings in a classroom. For example, a student cannot leave their coat in their first block class. A student cannot bring their lunchbox to second block and leave it there. A student cannot leave their Chromebook in a classroom before going to an elective class. If students choose the hybrid plan but decide to stay home one or more days, is this considered an absence or can they log in virtually? They'll be able to log in virtually. If the absence is prolonged, the parents will need to work with the school to determine how best to serve the student and family. Can students be dropped off late or picked up early and just log into their classes and be counted present? Based on their schedule, students may be dropped off or picked up early. Again, if this becomes a habitual practice, the family should work with the school on the specific issues. We want to opt out of videotaping our kids. If we send them to school, can we do that or by sending them to school 2 days a week? Are we agreeing that they will be on video? Since the OWL moves with the teacher or students depending on the lesson, the students attending in person will be seen by those students who are virtual. Can a student who's participating in 100% virtual learning participate in sports or clubs? The answer is yes, as long as they are enrolled full-time at Gayle. See below for pictures of hand cleansing stations, including sinks, hand sanitizer in classrooms, and hand sanitizers in hallways. The thermometers pictured below will be used by staff to check each student's temperature as they enter the building. Additional pictures of classrooms set up with 6 feet of social distancing and pictures of a social distancing sign and directional arrows that will be on the ground throughout the building.
Hello, I'm Sarah Fish, the Counseling Director and 8th grade school counselor. School counselors help students develop the academic, social, emotional, and career readiness skills to be successful in all life's endeavors. We are so excited to continue working with our students this year. Always remember that you matter, and together we are Panther Strong. Thank you, and have a good night.
If you have any questions or concerns with health needs for your child, please contact Nurse Day. The administrative team is made up of Mrs. Werner, Principal, Mr. McAwee, Assistant Principal, who supervises 6th grade students in special education, and Mr. Aversa, Assistant Principal, who supervises 7th and 8th grade students. If you have any further questions or concerns, please feel free to contact us at 540-373-0383.